On the 6th of June, Western Europe marked the 80th anniversary of the famous D-Day landings in Normandy in France. Leaders from the United States, the United Kingdom, France and Canada attended the ceremony. Biden, Macron and Sunak met troops from the current generation. The Allied soldiers enacted the Omaha Beach assault from 1944. During World War II, the Normandy landings turned the tide of the war. Allied soldiers undertook a daring mission to free Europe from Nazi Germany. And 80 years on, the Western troops honored their veterans. But joining them was an unusual country, Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky was invited to all the D-Day commemorations, despite Ukraine never having been remotely involved with the D-Day landings. Volodymyr Zelensky was welcomed like a hero in France. The Ukrainian president was accompanied by his wife. Zelensky was even given a standing ovation by the French parliament. And the Ukrainian leader secured more military deals for his troops. French President Emmanuel Macron pledged complete support for Kyiv.
Ukraine knows that it can count on our long-term support in its fight to help it as long and as intensively as necessary. It also knows that the Charter of the United Nations and European integration, inspired by the fight waged by the Allies 8 decades ago, will always be our most reliable compass.
Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden announced more military aid for Zelensky, the 6th package so far.
Yesterday, I announced $225 million in new security assistance to Ukraine, and it's the 6th package we've provided since we signed the national security legislation earlier this year. I wish we could have done it when we wanted to 6 months earlier, but we got it done.
And after getting the much-needed Western support, Zelensky aimed his sights at Vladimir Putin, calling him the modern-day equivalent of Nazi Germany's Hitler.
Can Putin win this battle? No, because we have no right to lose. Can this war end along the current lines? No, because there are no lines for evil, either 80 years ago or now. And if someone tries to draw temporary lines, it will only give a pause before a new war. It is the same now as it was when evil was unleashing its aggression against its neighbors in the 1930s. Hitler crossed line after line. Putin is doing the same.
Zelensky's trip to France was a major win for Ukraine. Macron will now send retired French Mirage-2000 fighter jets to Kyiv. The number of jets that will be given to Ukraine remains a mystery. In addition, Macron has promised to train a brigade of almost 5,000 Ukrainian troops in his country. The French president also wants to station his military instructors in Ukraine. Now the French jets will be a booster shot for Ukraine, which is already on track to receive F-16 jets from other NATO allies. The Mirage-2000 is a single-engine delta-wing fighter jet. It was inducted in 1984 and saw several upgrades over the years. The Mirage-2000 is a multi-role aircraft. It can be equipped with air-to-air and air-to-surface missiles. It can also launch laser-guided bombs. The jet is also capable of delivering a nuclear payload. And the biggest advantage of the Mirage-2000 is that it is a combat-proven machine. At least 7 nations, including France, fly the Mirage-2000. However, despite its proven track record, it may not be the game changer that Zelensky was hoping for. That's because the French jet's air-to-air capabilities are limited. The aircraft primarily relies on the decades-old Mika missile, which may not be able to engage Russian aircraft from a safe distance. Ukraine will also have to merge its air capabilities by mating the American-made F-16 jets to the Mirage-2000s. However, for Zelensky, any jet that he can get is the best fighter jet out there.
French combat aircraft, brilliant fighter jets. That, under the control of Ukrainian pilots, will prove that Europe is stronger. Stronger than the evil that dared to threaten Europe. Now, just as 80 years ago, we can prove it, the power of our unity, the power of the alliance, the power of our shared ideals.
This week, Ukraine celebrated a strike success. Zelensky's troops claim to have destroyed Russia's Su-57 stealth fighter jet. Ukraine used a long-range drone that traveled 600 kilometers before hitting its target. Satellite images revealed that the Su-57 jet was partially damaged. This is one of Ukraine's longest strikes into Russia, and the strikes are getting deeper after NATO allowed Zelensky to fire into Russia.
Ukraine has the right to defend itself. They have the right to strike military targets on the Russian territory, and we have the right to help them with that task.
But Putin is not the kind to sit silently. The Russian president ordered the second phase of nuclear drills. Russian strategic forces carried out the exercise with their counterparts from Belarus. Putin's long-range bombers were seen loaded with mock nuclear weapons. Nuclear-capable ballistic missiles were loaded onto trucks. And, accusing Europe of escalating the war in Ukraine, Putin threatened the West with nuclear war.
If, God forbid, it comes down to some strikes, everyone must understand that Russia has a nuclear missile early warning system. The US also have that. Nobody else in the world has such developed early warning systems. We have it. Europe does not have a developed early warning system. In this sense, they are more or less defenseless.
Macron has been pushing Putin's buttons. In February and in May, Macron said he was open to deploying French troops in Ukraine. In response, Putin has warned that any NATO troops in Ukraine would lead to World War III. Western nations are holding a Ukraine Peace Summit in Switzerland on the 15th and 16th of June. But Russia is not invited. Putin has made it clear that he will not be bullied into agreeing to terms put forward by the West. But Macron and NATO are willing to risk it all, as long as it defeats Putin.